How to create impact in your photograph when your subject blends into everything around it. In this one-on-one masterclass, we head to Florida to take on one of the hardest challenges in wildlife photography: mid-tone subjects. You'll see exactly how I find contrast, emotion, and that one unforgettable image. Let's head to Florida. I think I have run into an issue. I normally get my lenses a day before, and I normally get to location a day before, but this time around, for time constraints and whatnot, I could not. So this is my entire setup for this shoot. The lens, that's this guy, of course, you guys know what it is. That is from Lens Rentals. And this is my body. The issue that I'm having is that it's making noise, like, every time I dip it down. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but here. It's like something is loose inside the lens. The reason why I chose a 600mm is because I have photographed the reddish egret before, and they are skittish. They don't let you come as close as you want to. So that's why I kept the 600. And as far as the body is concerned, the body is gonna do what I want it to do, what it normally does. I'm gonna go over the settings with you guys, so this way you know. As far as my homework is concerned, before I go there and get all excited and get you guys all excited, let me go back and finish my 10-step ritual that I normally do. I have actually done a lot of research, so I do know certain things, but that doesn't mean that I don't have to do my 10-step ritual. That is an absolute must for me. So if I sway a little bit, oh my God, the 10-step brings me back. Oh my God, I'm not in the best shape possible. Matter of fact, I have it exactly the way you guys have it on a PDF, and I look through it step by step. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys the Florida experience. I'm gonna show you exactly what I do technically, so we know what we're gonna come back with, so we know what we want, so we know how we are going to get it. Based on that, the reddish egret is mid-gray, so to speak. So my f-stop over here is going to be f4. My shutter speed, I'm going to start at 1250. I'm not sure how that's going to go. And of course, my ISO is going to be 640. So 640 and f4 is going to be fixed. And then I'm going to play with my shutter speed on location and see how and what it does. So tip number one: know your why. So why am I going to Florida to photograph the reddish egret? I'm going there simply to bring images back so I can sell them to my clients. Primary goal, that's what I'm going there for. My inspiration for this time shoot, I'm going to go for a very fashion look. I want those slick legs. I want that body positioning. I want that shift of the neck. I want that drama. We know that the reddish egret eats small fish, and the small fish are basically in the shallow water. So when the high tide comes in, it brings in the fish. So the egret goes there, does her dance. I'm calling it a dance, but it's not a dance. What it is, it's really, they are fishing. And they catch the fish, and that's when you want to get them, because that's what gives you the most dramatic shots. They will open their wings, they'll turn their necks. They are absolutely gorgeous. The big challenge here I see is that the reddish egret falls in the mid-gray. I want to photograph the egret with the sand at the back or water at the back, so this way I can make the reddish egret the darkest in my frame. And the other thing I want to do is I want to keep the sand and the water a little bit less contrasty, right? I want the contrast to be on the reddish egret itself. So I want the reddish egret to be absolutely perfectly lit, and I will take you now to the location. I'll speak to you soon. Hey guys, I am here. Absolutely stunning. Here's the thing about reddish egret, it falls in mid-gray. What it means is whatever the camera says, I listen to the camera for the first time, but I don't want to do that either. I want to push it because I want to make my egret the darkest in my shot. What that means is I need to make the egret a little overexposed, and then the background is going to be blown out. And that's what I'm looking for. The tip number 2 is understanding your subject's color. It's important because it will help you place your subject in the grayscale where it stands. So, what is the color of my subject in this shoot? It's a little bit orangish, the head of it, and then the body is grayish. But how does that help me? Okay, so that takes me to pre-decide where your subject fits in the grayscale. For the reddish egret, it sits exactly in the middle. It is a gray tone, it's a mid-gray subject, and it has its perks, of course, which I'm gonna go over with you right now. All right, guys, I am here, and look at that egret. The reddish egret is right there. This is a different shoot. It's hot, and you go lug around with this camera. It's crazy. I'd rather do this in the winter. I feel at home in the winter when it's minus 30, when it's minus 50. Love it, love it, love it. I've lost sensations in my fingers because of frostbite on my nose and my cheeks, but you know, good price to pay for the images that I can capture there. Ritual number 4, choose your aperture. She's pretty far away, so I am going to use a 600 lens. So what am I shooting at? I'm shooting at f4 because that's what I can get out of the lens. All right, so I got my second 600 millimeter lens. All I had to do was call Lens Rentals and they sent me out a replacement immediately. This one is working. I am so happy. Not that the other one didn't work, it worked. It was just that it was making noise and I was nervous. But, you know, they didn't question it at all. Sent me a new one, a second one. I have it. I'm shooting with it. And the results are coming out just the way I want them. So thanks, Lens Rentals. So the 640 remains, the f4 remains. That's all good. But the thing is that she is backlit, right? So I got to compensate for that. She's on the other side. So I'm just going to walk into the water just a tad bit. Normally, before I go to a shoot, I bring myself to a good place in terms of health. It's more about wind in your lungs, you know. It's a workout. Running with the buffalo. Some kind of workout this is. If you can handle that, then you can do these wildlife trips without feeling like you're killing yourself. Tip number 5, master your wiggle room. Very important because if I don't, I won't know how many inches I will have to fumble around with my focusing distance. And for me in this situation, if she's going to be somewhere around 30 feet, 40 feet, my wiggle room there is going to be somewhere around 8 to 10 inches. And that's plenty. If you guys don't know what the wiggle room is, in the description will be some videos where you can see that and how to determine what your wiggle room is. I am getting what I want, meaning everything in the background seems to be light because of the sand and the water. And then she's doing her dance. Hey, beautiful lady. That's awesome. Oh God. Come on, near me. There you go. Now she's dead center right there. Now she's gonna do the dance, I can guarantee you. Ritual number 6, study your subject's behavior. Oh God, have I. I've gone and watched YouTube videos. I have gone and watched my own work. I was there maybe 6 years ago. I've gone and studied those images. She dips down before she makes a move. And the other thing she does, which I absolutely love about her, is that when she sees something, she moves her head in an angle this way, but she's looking on the other side. What an amazing pose. Reminds me of fashion 150%. I want that. Being fierce. Shutter speed is at 1800. I don't want it to be super sharp, like I call it the dead image. And the dead image will come when I hit 2000. So I backed it off from 2000. Now I'm at 1800 and I don't want to go any faster, which I think, according to the light and environment, that should work out pretty damn good because the light's only going down, right? So I need more light, which means I don't need to push my shutter speed. Well, I can't do anything with the aperture, neither can I do anything with the ISO. I'm stuck with that, but that's what I want. Once I drop past 1250, I will call it quits and I'll go back to the hotel. Morning, guys. All right, back on location. Let's see where these birds are going to be. Tip number 7, prepare for subject interaction. I don't think this subject is going to interact with me. They are going to go and look for food. Where is the food? What is the food? The food is small fish. She's got to be fast, agile, make quick decisions. If you reverse engineer the language, what it means is I have to be super quick. I have to be quicker than her, which is very tough, very impossible. She's across the water, which means I'll have to walk all the way there to go all the way to the other side. I don't think I can cross across this water. I don't know how deep the sky is, but I'm going to try my best. My reflexes have to be tack on. My prediction has to be unbelievable because the egret goes right, left, front, back. Oh my God, she's all over the place. My wind, or my stamina, I should call it, is not up to par. I have put on weight, so yeah. That's a toughie. And it's a bad one. It's very irresponsible on my part as a photographer.
Who hates me now?
Oh my God. I didn't think I was weak. I have an image in my head of the reddish egret, and I can't get it out. I just can't get it out. And I want that, and I want that. And I haven't seen it online. I haven't seen it on any photographer's gallery. I do think it would be exceptionally good. And I also do think that I can achieve that. Can I get that in this trip? I am absolutely not sure. Number 8, contrast challenges. Very good point. And this is something that I've been thinking. So important for me to know the contrast. Why? Because I want to pull the image. I'm going to pull it. When I say I'm going to pull it, the reddish egret is gray. She sits in the middle, and I am going to overexpose my background and underexpose her just a tad bit. She has to be the darkest in the image. This is how I am seeing it. And how am I going to achieve that? I think I'm going to look at my background and place her where I want her to be, where she is the darkest. So I'm not going to choose a bush or the trees that are darker than her, because if I do that, then she's not the darkest. And that's not what I want. So that is a very good point. You guys should think about it every single time you go out for shooting as well. I want her to be the darkest in the image, right? So spot meter, the background, 1.5 plus, other background, 1.5 plus, bottom foreground, 1.5 plus. Her is 1/4 plus. What does that mean? She is the darkest, right? So if she's the darkest, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm controlling my exposure just with the shutter speed. My shutter speed is now sitting at 1800, and I think the dead spot for her is 2000, so I'm trying to stay within that 1800, but I think the light is getting brighter by the second. I gotta be the photographer and get the light proper, and I think that's what's gonna make or break this entire thing that she's doing for me. So ritual number 9 is practice. Okay, I've done this. You guys have known about this, right? I go outside and I focus and I focus and I focus on the cars. Awesome. Egret's not doing that. She's going all over the place. So how did I practice for this? I didn't. Am I in the best shape possible? No, I'm not. And look at that dance she's doing there. Oh my God, she's going absolutely nuts, which would be awesome for me. So I'm rushing, but again, I can't rush. Why? Because I'm not in the best shape possible. That's my problem. It's a job at the end of the day, and I need to come back with stuff, and it doesn't mean that just go clicking a photograph and knowing your camera. It means physical fitness as well. It's wildlife photography, right? On that, what I'm going to say is that I'm going to use a 600, so it's going to sit on my tripod. I'm going to go this way, camera here, and on the lens. I'm going to balance it. I'm going to push and pull at the same time, so it's a perfect balance. And then it becomes fluid, so I can move up, down, side to side. I do use a video head which becomes super loose, because I know photographers say, hey, why do you use a video head? Well, I use a video head because I shoot videos as well. But it does have a setting where you can loosen it to a place where it just is so wiggly that it's as good as one of the gimbals. I think I'm going to change directions, meaning I'm going to go into the water a little bit more. What that's going to do is going to give me a bigger, wider chance of nailing the shot. And the reason why is because the sun is getting too harsh. And if the sun is in her face, chances are that it is going to work out. I'm going to get them against the light. And what does that mean? Means I'll have to open up quite a bit to compensate for that. And what does that mean? It also means a dramatic, insane shot. And do we want that? Of course. So number 10 is research realistic conditions. I'm kind of nervous a little bit because it's going to be in 80 to 95 degree weather. For the most part, my work is in minus 30 degrees to minus 50 degrees. That's my work. This time it's the total opposite, sunny Florida. I mean, is it gorgeous? Yeah, of course it is. Look at that. Blue skies, awesome water. I mean, it is gorgeous. Is it for me? No. It's difficult carrying this guy around. I don't know how much it weighs, but whatever it weighs, I'm not going to sit and do the math here. But it is tedious when you're walking with it on your shoulders. Especially when you're used to the winter, you have a lot of clothing on you, padding and so on and so forth. So when you put that on your shoulder, all these knobs and metal does not dig into your shoulder. And that is, I say, beautiful. But in the summer, like here in Florida, you don't have that luxury. So some technical things here. When you are shooting in this gorgeous weather, the sun is up. Shadows are harsh. Hate that, right? Number 2, the sand is white, literally. On the grayscale, it's white. Then you have the midtones, which is the water and the sky. And then you have the reddish egret, which sits right there in the mid-gray. If I take my reddish egret and push it towards the white, what is going to happen? I'm going to blow out my sand. I don't want that. So it's a game where you got to have enough information in the sand. I'm not saying all of it should be there, but enough information in the sand that it looks real. And number 2, you have to have your gray. For me, the reddish egret, I did decide on f4 640, but that's my go-to setting. And I also decided that I'm going to start off at 1250. I never was at 1250. I always moved it up to 1600. Even when the sun gets harsh, I think it gets worse. Worse meaning you got to move it up. And the higher you take that, the more details you get in the sand. But at the same time, you are making the reddish egret that's gray, and you're pushing her more and more into the spot where you may need some kind of help. I don't like to work with the histogram that is peaks in the middle, right? I like my valleys better than my mountains, which means I got to push the sand towards the right and I got to push the egret towards the left as much as possible to get me a nice, contrasty, emotional subject. All right, guys, this is it for now. I will see you guys in Florida soon. Thanks.